All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of To The Show Baseball Podcast presented by Beyond the Monster. I am your host, Andrew Parker. In today's episode, we are diving back into the Red Sox organization. We have Myles Patton on, who is a 2025 draft pick out of Texas A&M. So we do talk about him being drafted by the Red Sox and finishing up in the SEC there, and just everything he's up to down in the complex and things like that. Then we also dive into a lot of things off the field and try to get to know him a little bit for who he was outside the box score there. So we do dive into all that and more. And before I do shoot to the interview here, whether you're watching me on YouTube right now, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you get your podcast, please like, subscribe. It's free to do so on all platforms. And I'm making a huge push right now on the YouTube channel. So if you could like and subscribe there, that would be fantastic. And I appreciate every single one. But without further ado, let me shoot you on to the interview with Myles Patton. All right, I am joined by Myles Patton, who is a new member of the Red Sox organization via the 2025 MLB Draft. And Myles, I know you're down in Fort Myers right now, and I know things have probably been a little crazy over the last month. So that's where I want to start. How have things been for you, and what has life been like since turning professional?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a whirlwind just with getting acclimated to a new place, a new kind of training regimen, new spot. It's everything new. Meeting a bunch of new guys, and yeah, it was pretty crazy just first couple weeks, but definitely getting settled in now, and it's been great. I mean, it's pretty cool thing we get to do.
Yeah, and it's very unique situation that you're in right now, currently. Obviously getting drafted and living with guys and being around guys every day now that you might have known a couple of those guys just via facing them in college or wherever it was. But what has that been like? I guess getting around your draft class and getting to know all these guys for the first time.
Yeah, it's been cool. There's a lot of SEC pitchers, which is something, we all got stories about playing together or just common opponents and all that stuff. So that was cool to kind of bond over that stuff. And then just meeting some other guys that I haven't played against before and just that are new faces to each other. But it's a really good group of guys just with our draft class right now. It's everybody's super down to earth, like no egos, no everybody's really good dudes, and it's a lot of fun to be around everybody.
Yeah, I want to dive into that a little bit because you had talked about, just having a lot of SEC guys. They drafted
Mm,
a ton this past year. They obviously had a certain mold that they liked. And I know you only had the 1 year of it at Texas A&M, but do you agree with the strategy? I'm also a big SEC guy. I'm a Mizzou Tiger, so
mhm.
I take pride in SEC, and I think that it's the best conference in the world for a reason. And for yourself, do you kind of believe in that as well? That that they targeted a certain kind where you guys all came from the SEC, you guys played the best. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think there's obviously some other really good conferences too, but I think the biggest thing in the SEC, just from my experience, was just there's no breaks. Like no matter who you're playing, every single weekend is going to be a grind, and I think that kind of mentality of everybody being elite competition really gets you in a good mindset. I think going into pro ball because there's going to be failures, there's going to be success, but if you don't just keep the same mindset and keep preparing for every single team like it's the best team that you're going to play a whole season, then you're going to get exposed, I guess. So I think that lesson is really valuable for all of us, and I'm sure there's other guys that play in other conferences that have similar experiences, but I think the SEC definitely shows you that.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned there's no breaks. I did watch a lot of Mizzou baseball this year, which wasn't the easiest thing to do. But there was one series that they had, and I think you had a front row seat for it. So I do apologize for that. But I had guys telling me like, Mizzou might be the break in the schedule. It's like, like they didn't have any wins, going into College Station, but. I do apologize for that. I'm sure that series was not great for you
Yeah,
guys.
I appreciate that.
All right, so I want to dive in a little bit into the draft. Obviously, it was probably a pretty crazy couple days for yourself. What was your experience like? What were you doing? I guess where were you at for it? Can you kind of tell me about the experience for you?
Yeah, I was just back home with the family, kind of hanging out and just trying to enjoy it as much as I can, even though it's kind of a stressful thing, just not knowing where you're going to go, not knowing what organization, all that stuff. So just trying to enjoy it, and it's once in a lifetime experience, and just try to enjoy it as much as possible. Be with the people that I care about and love, and yeah, just make the most of it.
Were you surprised at all that it was the Red Sox, or did you have like, pre-draft meetings with them? Like, or was it one of those things where it's like you were kind of surprised about the pick?
Um, I guess I was a little surprised. I mean, like, me and my agent had been talking the day before and before the draft and kind of just like going over the teams that seemed high on me. And the Red Sox were kind of in the mix, but I just didn't really know for sure. But I had a really good meeting with them in the fall and really liked kind of everything that they're about and their organization's philosophy, especially on the pitching end. And so, yeah, it was definitely a surprise, but it was a really good place to land.
Yeah, and you kind of just mentioned that obviously the pitching philosophies that the Red Sox currently employ. What kind of things intrigued you the most about with the pitching development, things like that?
Yeah, I think just the cornerstone of it being just throwing good stuff in the zone. I think if you can really simplify stuff, I think that's the best way to do it. And I think everything that they do is just super laid out to us, but also super simple philosophy. I mean, there's a few things that they look at us with and judge us on, and if you can do those things well, you're gonna have a lot of success. And so I think kind of the simplicity of the philosophy combined with them having a really good track record of improving velo, improving usages. I think those type of things is I mean all you could ask for from a pitching development standpoint.
Yeah, and I guess let's go to like now they end up selecting you, and you get the phone calls and everything. That next couple days, like, did they have any calls with you about like what they thought a potential plan looked like for you or anything like that, or has it not been that high level yet?
A little bit kind of diving in. I think we all kind of know the main directions each of us needs to go, like to get to the next level and kind of the next step we all need to take on our development. But I think right now we're kind of just trying to gather as much data as possible off the mound so we can really like hammer and set in stone that development plan.
And so for yourself, for maybe Red Sox fans that aren't, maybe they didn't watch any Texas A&M or Long Beach State over the last few years. Who are you as a pitcher? Like what's your bread and butter? What's your arsenal look like? I guess could you just give me like the 30-second to minute like rundown of who you are as a pitcher?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me that kind of sets me up for success is just being an elite strike thrower and competing in the zone. No fear of contact, no fear of what could happen once the ball leaves your hand. Just fearlessly compete in the zone, which I think is a big thing for me. And then I think just really trying to keep hitters off balance, mix a lot of different shapes, throw multiple breaking balls, a sinker, cutter, and a four seam fastball, and then a changeup to just try and keep the hitters off balance and throw a lot of different shapes at them all in the zone. It's kind of my bread and butter right now.
So are you telling me you're not going to be the guy? I always feel like there's like two different types of pitchers, entering pro ball these days. You obviously have the guys that throw like 100, 101. You got the flamethrowers, and you also have, the guys that are maybe mid 90s that throw a ton of strikes, things like that. I mean, even I guess lower to mid 90s. What are you more towards the lower to mid 90s compared to the 100?
Yeah, right now, yeah, definitely on the pitchability side, but hopefully we can get that up and hopefully we can be 100 miles an hour with some pitchability too.
Hey, they are. You know what? You get the ball across. If you throw strikes, man, that's the most important thing. And you mentioned
Yeah,
a phrase that I know the Red Sox like to teach: just throw nasty stuff in the zone. Like
yeah.
that's what they want. And I mean, I know they probably prefer it to be 100 miles per hour, but there's plenty of guys out there that are not throwing 100 miles per hour that are doing quite well.
Hmm.
All right, so for yourself, obviously now that you're down at the complex, you're most likely going to be there throughout the end of the year before going to spring training in the spring and everything like that. What are you looking forward to the most about working with the guys down at the complex and the coaches and the coaching staff there?
I think just continuing to just maximize myself and just get as close to my ceiling as a player as I can just in the next couple months as far as that will be. And then I think just having obviously an MLB level, data driven approach where we're doing stuff the most optimal way. We're trying to find, the exact like the best usage that we can have, the best mixes we can have, all that stuff is becoming the most optimized and just best version of ourselves and getting as close to that as we can in the next couple months.
So it would, I see both ends of the spectrum on this one. Would you consider yourself a guy who would be a pitching nerd that wants to know all the data about every single one of his pitches? You want to know the shapes, everything. Or do you take a more old school approach where you're just like, I just want to throw, the ball over the plate, get results, things like, or are you more in the middle? Like, where do you land on that spectrum there?
I would say I've gone kind of back and forth. In my freshman year of college, I was super on the old school side of just trying to locate stuff in the zone. And then I think my sophomore year, I went kind of a lot further to the, I guess, nerd side, if you want to call it that. And then I think last year I was definitely in the middle. Just I think the best way is just having a blend of both. And I think there's stuff with the, quote unquote old school philosophy that are super important. I think there's stuff with the new school philosophy that's super important. So I think just finding, kind of a middle ground between all that stuff. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, I call it a pitching nerd. Just I consider myself a pitching nerd, and I'm not even a
Mhm.
pitcher, but I just like seeing like guys, just all the data behind like the pitch
Oh
shapes,
yeah,
the horizontal break, all that stuff. I think it's very fascinating, to be
yeah.
honest. And
Yeah, and it's cool to see kind of what makes different guys unique. Like everybody, we're all trying to achieve the same result, but there's so many different ways about going about that. So it's cool to see what makes different guys unique and good.
yeah, and it's something that I was so curious about, just like seeing, for example, a guy like Tarek Skubal, who obviously
Mhm.
wins a Cy Young, and it's like, why is his changeup so good? Why is his changeup effective, and this other guy's maybe isn't as effective? So I like seeing like maybe some of the background. He's also just one of the best pitchers in the world, so I mean that also helps as well. But I
Yeah,
don't know. It's very, very cool though to see the under the hood stuff. All
definitely.
right. So for yourself, obviously you are far away from home. Is that something that has kind of taken a little bit of it? I know it's very early on still since you got down there, but is that something that you've had to take some time to adjust to, being so far away from home?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, you miss your family, and I love being with them, and it's a super important piece of me and my career. And definitely wouldn't be in the position that I am today without them and without their support. But hey, it's just part of it. It's kind of we're going to be away from home pretty much no matter where we go. So getting used to that. I think my junior year of college, kind of moving a little bit away, prepared me for a little better, and then just kind of continuing that journey.
Yeah, what is do you miss like I mean a lot of California guys, I know they miss their in and out, they miss things like that. Obviously you're not going to get that over in Florida or any of the affiliate sites for the Red Sox
Uh,
once you do. So is there anything like that you miss from back home, maybe if it's outside of family?
I mean, the beach is the biggest thing for me. It's we've gone down to the Fort Myers and like Naples a few times, and it's just getting in that water when it's almost as hot as the air outside. Just isn't as refreshing as getting to the
Okay.
Pacific.
I was going to say you still have a beach down there, but I guess it's not as good.
Yeah, it's beautiful
Okay.
though. It's been nice on there. Well, that's the main thing
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, I also feel bad for Fort Myers. They got pretty crushed by a couple hurricanes within the last couple years, and I know they still haven't fully
Yeah.
recovered yet. So I'll give them some more
Hmm.
time to kind of get those back and how they're supposed to be looking. All
Hmm.
right, so I want to kind of look ahead here. We were talking about it. You're going to be down at the complex for a little bit, but we're already in mid-August, and before you know it, you're going to have your first ever spring training as a professional pop up. Is there anything you're looking forward to, during your first spring training? Because I love spring training. I'm down in Fort Myers for a while every year. And it's the one time every single guy in the organization, all the coaches, everything under the same roof. Is
Hmm.
there anything you're looking forward to about that experience?
I mean, I think just continuing to work. I think being able to have a really hammered down plan of exactly what kind of direction we want to take the arsenal in by that point, and then exactly what improvements we want to make, and really refining and hammering those away in spring training, just getting prepared for the season. Well, I think it's going to be pretty cool just to see all the guys in one spot, seeing just observing from guys and just observing different guys go about their work and picking up little stuff from them and whatnot, and just trying to just learn.
Want to shoot to a little off the field things, get to know you a little bit off the field now. It's something I like doing with a lot of different guys just to see who they are off the box scores here.
Mhm.
So for yourself, once you kind of do get started with the minor league and once you get to an affiliate, you have an off day every Monday. So I like asking the question like, hey, it's Monday, you got the off day, you're not traveling that day. What would you be doing with your free time on that day?
I mean, I'd love to, go on a different type of hike, maybe somewhere around if there's a mountain nearby or something like that. Go to the beach or just be in nature. I love spending time outside, getting in the sun. I think that's kind of the best way for me to spend an off day for sure.
So, are you going to be in the minority on this? Are you not a golfer?
I'm not a golfer now, not yet. Hopefully soon I can pick that up, but not yet.
You being a pitcher in minor league baseball, man, and you're not a golfer. That's very, very rare.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Is it just
I've been
something that
feeling
are you just not good at it, or do you just never really picked it up?
just never really picked it up. I've been feeling
Okay.
kind of left out when they all go golfing without me. We've been playing some putt putt though. That's been pretty fun. I can
Okay.
get in on that.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody golfs, man. It's crazy. If
Yeah.
you're a pitcher and don't, you're gonna be missing out, I guess. Especially in those starting rotations once you get into minor league baseball. If you're not in there, you're gonna be having FOMO.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I don't know how familiar you are with the affiliates of the Red Sox yet, but obviously Salem is the low A team up in
hmm
Virginia, and you said you're a hiking guy. That probably has some
hmm
of the best hiking spots in any affiliate minor league baseball. I don't know if you've looked into that yet.
I haven't looked into that specifically, but yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I was assuming there would probably be some good stuff around there, but yeah, I haven't looked into anything specific with that yet.
There's not a whole lot to do in Salem,
hmm
but it is very nature. You got the mountains all around the baseball field and everything like that, so it is kind of cool if you're into that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, All right, cool. So figured out you're not a golfer. You
Mhm.
kind of sound like you're an outdoors guy. If you let's just say over the off season, you go back home to California and you got a lot of downtime. Are you a video game guy? Like, what do you do when you're back home?
Yeah, I mean, I love some video games with the boys. That's for sure a staple of the routine. But I think I'm really big into movies. Movies are kind of my thing.
Okay. Like, are you a guy that's got? I just interviewed a guy not too long ago in the Twins org, and he told me he was like, I go to the movies every single week on my off day. Are you one of those guys, or are you just like, let me throw something on Netflix at home?
I mean, I like going to the movies if there's something good coming out, but I'm not super often. I like kind of just the older movie. I like kind of the classics, I guess.
Okay. I don't hate that. My wife's dragging me to the theaters like every month now. It's quite interesting. I hadn't gone to a movie theater in like 8 years until I met her, and it's been a wild ride, to say the least. All right, I did see something. I don't know if this is just what you wanted to choose or what, but I did see when you were at Long Beach, you had majored in pre-com studies, and I don't know if that like means something to you or not, but like, why did you choose that?
I think being able to communicate with people is a very valuable thing. I think being able to communicate with teammates, coaches, people in the front office, regardless of who that is, I think just being able to understand those relationships a little bit better was kind of something that would be valuable to me.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't have said it any better. I guess being able to talk is kind of important. Um, so for yourself, being a California guy and growing up in the area of where you attended at Long Beach State, was that important to you? Like, how cool is that to get to play for like the local school and just be like so close to home like that?
Yeah, I mean it was unbelievable. It was everything I could have hoped for, and I mean, as pretty much as soon as they kind of offered me in high school, I knew that's where I wanted to go. Just being close to home, always looking at that place, and just like the history that they have, and kind of the identity of the program, I guess you could say was I just thought was super cool and super just really was something that I was about, and I felt really. I think I just related my identity as a baseball player to kind of how they had ran the program, and so yeah, once that kind of got rolling, I knew for sure wanted to go there, and then yeah, it was awesome.
How hard was that to leave them? Yeah, your junior year.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult. I mean, it was multiple coaching changes. The coach I committed to out of high school left and went to St. Mary's in Northern California. And then the coach my sophomore year was an assistant my freshman year, and then he was gone after my sophomore year. So then after that, completely different coaching staff and turnover, and just ended up getting in the portal and obviously going to Texas A&M. But it was definitely a hard thing to do, and I mean, everything about that place is awesome. The field, the logo, being close to family, being in Southern California. I mean, there's a bunch of amazing things about the program.
Yeah, and I know we kind of already touched on you being at A&M and pitching in the SEC and everything, but I do feel like, I was kind of looking at it, I was like, it had to be hard to kind of leave, like, you're so close to family, friends, and obviously where you grew up, and going out to College Station was a big change of scenery. Very, very different way of life out there, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I got a couple questions left here, and I will let you slide. I need to know. I like asking this question to guys, but could you tell me something about yourself that most people probably don't know? Like whether you have I don't know, like if you have like a favorite show, anything, like what's something about you that nobody would know?
That's a tough one.
Like is
Um,
there any like weird food takes? Like, I've been seeing lately, like Roman Anthony saying he hates ketchup, like things like that. Like there's gotta be something you got.
there's got to be something. Let me think about that.
I put you on the spot for that one.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
There's gotta be something in
I,
there.
there's a bunch of things I just don't know where I should go with it.
Like, what is
Um,
something that you think by the end of your time at the complex that all your draft class guys are going to be like, that guy was this? Like, for example, this past draft class, Alex Bouchard, who's in Salem right now,
mhm.
went to Panda Express like every single week. He was known as the Panda Express guy. And that's just something a lot of people didn't know about him. They just went there all the time. So
Oh man.
there's got to be something for you that's like, I don't know, like they're gonna probably know me as this guy because I'm into Fortnite, I'm into whatever. You might be drawing a blank here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know if there's anything that weird. I guess
Okay.
I gotta think about that one.
You know what? Well, we can always skip it, and then if you ever think of something in a month or two, you can just like, hey, this is what it is. But I'll let you slide on this one for right now. All right, so I got one question left here, and we will part ways here. So obviously, we talked about a little bit about getting your pro career started. You're down in the Fort Myers. You'll be at an affiliate next year and all that. What is one thing? Let's just say we're fast forwarding a year from now, and it's 2026 right now. You're at the end of your first full pro season. What is one thing that you're looking forward to the most about getting your professional career started and heading towards your ultimate goal of making it to the big leagues one day?
One thing I'm looking forward to the most, and kind of in that.
Yeah, just starting the minor league career and getting things going.
I think it really like it's kind of just goes. I mean, just living the dream. I mean, really just doing what I've always wanted to do as a kid, and just having the opportunity to play baseball for a living every day. And I mean, that's what I was telling my dad on the phone is like our job now is just to train and try and make it to the MLB. Like, I mean, it's such a cool opportunity to have, and meeting people along the way. It's going to be awesome. So I think really just truly that, just being able to live the dream and really just try to achieve a goal that I think we've all been looking forward to and looking towards since we were probably first put a baseball uniform on.
Yeah, and it's just starting, man. I feel like a year from now, you'll be, whatever affiliate you're at, and you're gonna be like, holy cow, like we are getting started. So, all right,
Yeah.
Miles, I appreciate all the time. Obviously, wishing you best of luck as we, head towards the end of 2025 here, and as you head into your first spring training. But obviously, it was great to get to know you, and thanks for doing this.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. And thank you for having me.